Well, howdy folks, we're out here on the back porch today and we got us some containers out here. I got this in here that we're going to do our mixing in, and that is some perlite and that is some vermiculite, and we're going to mix that with some peat moss in this big tub here, and we're going to make us some seed starting mix. So let's go out here and get us some peat moss and then we'll start mixing, and I'll show you how we're going to do this. Alright, so here's our peat moss, and it's just regular old, sphagnum peat moss that you get at the big box stores. I had this back a year ago, never did use it, and if I didn't already have this, I would have probably have went with a cocoa core instead of peat moss. I can put a link down in the description about what I'm talking about, but it's like the husks from a coconut, and it's really compacted, and you just add water to it and it expands. And also a lot of folks use that media for seed start mix, and I would prefer that, but like I said, I already had this peat moss here, so I want to use this. Alright, a little damp, like I said, I've kept it outside, it's been covered up, but the moisture still got into it. And what we're going to do now on this mix is we're going to mix it 6 parts of peat moss to about 1 part vermiculite and about a half a part of perlite. So this is about a half a gallon. This is one of those big, this is that nice, don't tell the missus I'm using her nice Tupperware set. She'll get on to me about it, but it's about 16 ounces, a pound of whipping, and this is a 40 quart container. So I'm going to mix up 6 of these, and then 1 of these of vermiculite, and probably about a half of perlite. And that's what we're going to make our seed starting media out of. So we'll go ahead and get us 6 scoops of this. And I would definitely recommend doing this outside. You can see how dusty this stuff is, especially when it comes to the perlite. You'll see when we go to mix it, it's really dusty and it's not good for you. So if you're going to be mixing any perlite, definitely go outside. Make sure you got some well ventilation. All right, there's our 6 parts peat moss. All right, folks, I hope I got the camera in a good position there to where I'm not blocking anything when I start doing this. Here's our 6 parts of peat moss, and then we're going to mix 1 part of vermiculite and about a half a part of perlite. Now, where did I get those measurements? That's what they, and I say that in quotes, they say is a good mixture for your seed starting. If you buy any of that high dollar seed starting pot and mix at the store, you see it's got this perlite in it. This is the little white flakes that you see. I'm trying to hold it up there so you can see it. It's flying everywhere. You can see how light it is. The wind's getting it. But a lot of folks use that in seed starting mixes, and it provides aeration, and it's good for drainage as well, for water, so it doesn't hold too much water in that seed starting mix. You don't want your getting root rot in your seed starting mix. But it's real lightweight. It just promotes good drainage and good oxygenation for your soil. Now the vermiculite, on the other hand, It's really fine. I would suggest you get a real fine um, media. I think it's grade 1. I'll have to look, but you can see how fine it is. Really lightweight as well. Um, they say the vermiculite is it's good. It's not really the opposite of perlite, but it kind of is. It helps retain moisture in the soil, but it also provides good aeration again for letting oxygen in. You don't want to plant your seed start, and you don't want to go out here and just get you a shovel full of dirt to start your seeds inside. I'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a second, but you want to make sure that you're using real good aerated soil to let oxygen in, and it retains moisture and also allows for excessive moisture to drain out. So again, what we're going to be doing is our 6 parts of peat moss, and then we're going to do 1 part of vermiculite, and then we're going to do half a part of perlite. You can see how dusty that stuff is, folks. You see it flying around. That's what I was saying. You got to be really careful where you're handling this stuff. You can see how dusty it is. All right, folks. Well, we're ready to mix our 3 ingredients, and there's other material that you can put in these. I've heard people use worm castings as a type of fertilizer. Since we're using peat moss, there's what is it called? I think it's mosquito bits or something like that that you can buy. It's little granulated things that will kill off any larvae that may have been in the peat moss. If you're using coco coir, usually you don't have to try to sterilize it, but since we're using this peat moss that's been outside for at least a year probably, I've got some boiling water over here, and you want to get it boiling for, I don't know, at least 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to add that to our mix to sterilize especially the peat moss. There may have been some type of insects that got into the peat moss. There may be some type of disease or fungi or some type of mold that was in the peat moss, so we want to sterilize that. So we're going to be adding the boiling water to this. I got me a stick over here to stir it with. I ain't going to do it with my hands. And how much water? That's kind of hard to say. You know, it's you want to get it mixed up, and once it comes just a little bit sticky, you want to make sure that when it cools off, you want to grab it and squeeze it, and it needs to drip some water out of it. That's about the consistency that you want for the seed starting mix. Starting to get a pretty good mixture to it here. Starting to clump up a little bit. You can see it there. Now, if you're doing seed start mix outside, you're going to start it in your greenhouse. You don't need to add the boiling water to it. You definitely don't want any fungus gnats inside your home. Larvae that can hatch in your seed starting mix. You don't want them things flying around your house. Make sure that you get a good mix on it if you're doing the seed starting inside. And once we get this to the right consistency, I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Still got some dry pockets in there. We will come back and show you how we're going to do our seed blocks. All right, folks, it's cooled off a little bit. Still got a little steam to it, but take you a handful of it. You can see and then squeeze it, you can see how the water's running out of it. That's pretty good consistency for what we're looking for. Now, you can take your 10-20 trays, which most people use. The trays I've got are 10, 14, 10, 15s, just because I want each tray mainly for one particular vegetable or flower or something like that. So that's just the reason. I mean, it's your preference, however you want to do it. But you can take your trays that are solid, don't have any holes in the bottom. You can buy those that sit right inside them that are graded for drainage. You can put your seed starting mix in those and just fill it up solid and do it like that. Or you can do a seed blocker like what I'm going to use. Or you can buy the little individual plastic seed sales. And you can get the 4-packs that are a little bit bigger, or you can get a 6-pack, or you can buy the little individual ones that are a little bit taller. And those are depending on what you're wanting to grow in them, what size you want to get, if you're going to up pot them, stuff like that. So the reason I'm going with a seed starter is just cause, I don't know, it looks like it's going to be fun. I've never used it, so this is the first time I'm on camera that I'm using it. But you just push your seed starting mix down in it, pack it really tight, and then you push down on this and squeeze up, and it plops out your little 2x2 seed blocks. And then it'll have a little indentation in the middle there where that ball is to put your seeds in, if that's how you want to do it. But one of the reasons I wanted to go with a seed blocker is from certain reports that I've read, certain folks that I've watched talk about the benefits of seed blocks. When you're blocking these out, these are individual blocks, and when the roots start growing, they could get root bound in those little plastic seed cells, and that's not really good when you go to transplant it. If that root is root bound, when roots will get to the edge of where these seed blocks is, they'll self prune. They'll what they call air prune, and that's better than getting root bound in those plastic cells. But they do have a purpose, and as long as you're rotating and up potting and all of that, that's fine. I'm hoping that once I get these flowers under the grow lights within the next 4 to 6 weeks, I can start putting some of these out, and then we're going to rotate into vegetables. So really busy time for us right now as we're starting our flowers. And let me show you what I'm going to be planting here. This time I'm going with the Teddy Bear Sunflower Dwarfs, just because I don't want nothing really tall out there in the garden. I'd rather plant these and zinnia, which is a good companion crop for some of your vegetables. Nasturtium, which is not only just a flower pollinator, a companion plant, you can actually, these are edible as well. So I got 2 different types of that, a black velvet and the jewel blend of nasturtiums. And then verbena, again, a pollinator and also a companion. Marigolds, we know the benefits of marigolds. There's several, 20, 40, there's all kinds of different marigolds. So I just went with, whatever I thought might be aesthetically pleasing out in the garden. So I went with the Cracker Jack blend, this style flower, and also this open flower here. And then Elysium, got 2 different types. I got the white, and then I got the pastel blend. We're going to be planting both of these out there. That's a good companion plant, trap plant for certain insects. So that's our seeds that we're going to be starting, our flowers. Let's see how this goes. Like I said, this is the first time I've tried seed blocks, so I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out. Get one of my trays here. Make sure the camera is where you can see me here. Get this pot of boiling water down before I burn myself. Roll my sleeves up here. Some of y'all might want to use gloves when you're handling this. That's fine. For me, for one, I never mind getting dirty. For one, but also I believe it's good for us to get grounded in the dirt every once in a while. It's good for you. It's good to be grounded. All right. So when you go put these in, you just push it down. You want to really pack it in good, rock it back and forth, do it several different times. Make sure you get a good pack on it. You can see how it looks there on the bottom. I want to make sure these things are as full as I can get them. All right. Let's see how this goes. Well, not perfect for the first time. Ain't not too bad. I'm sure there's a technique I'll get it, but you get the point here. Each one's an individual block. Once you plant it, you can just take that one individual block and you take it just like you would one of the individual plastic cells. You grab that and then you transplant it. So I'm gonna redo these. I just don't like the way those turned out on the ends. These look fairly well, but not bad for my first time. Put that back in yonder. And I may not quite have it as wet as it needs to be, but like I said, this is a learning process for me. For one, I've never really done any seed starting indoors. Last year I tried doing my flowers indoors, and I used those peat moss seed starters. I guess they're peat moss, the little gray fiber looking cells, and put them by the windowsill on a northeast facing window, and it didn't do any good at all. So this time I got my rack in the house. I got me some grow lights. So looking forward to trying it this way this year and see what type of germination we're going to get. I'm sure some of y'all out there watching this and they're like, you need to do it like this. You need to do it like that. Well, leave me a comment. Give me some suggestions on my technique and how I'm doing this. Let me know how you, if you do seed blocks or if you do plastic cells, or how you start your seeds. Let me know and how it's worked out for you. All right, let's see how it goes this time. A little better. Still got quite a bit clumped up inside here, and it may be too wet. So I thought that would be the pretty good consistency that I would need. But we'll keep at it. I'm gonna leave them like that. We're gonna go back at it again. Pull it that way, pull it back this way. A lot of folks I see, they pull it this way and then they go that way with it. Let's see how it goes this time. There we go. Looking a little better. A little better. All right. We're going to get the hang of this. Now, some of y'all might be saying, well, why are you going through all this trouble? Why don't you just go buy you a bag of Pro Mix, and that way you ain't got to go through all this trouble? Well, for me, it's not trouble. I really enjoy this. This is something that not just a hobby for me, but it's really relaxing. It's a way I can wind down from the day-to-day hectic lifestyle that we have, and the busyness of work. I can come home, I can get my hands dirty playing in the dirt, and then when it comes time to put seeds in the ground, and when you see those sprouts start coming up and you care for them, you transplant them, and then you look after them, and then they bear fruit, and you know where that fruit came from. You know every ingredient that went into growing that vegetable, and then when it comes time to put it on the plate and partake of what the Lord is blessed with, it's just really special, and I really enjoy it. There is probably easier ways to do this than soil blocks, but I want to try it. To me, I enjoy it. Plus, if you go to get you a bag of that nice Pro Mix that is so good, and I'm not knocking Pro Mix, great seed starting media. It's going to cost you a big bale of that. It's going to cost you as much as I've got in the Perlite, the Vermiculite, and the peat moss all together. I think those were like $20 a piece. The peat moss was what, 24 maybe. So I mean, $60, and a bale of that Pro Mix is going to cost you $60. But I'm going to be able to make a whole lot more seed starting mix by mixing all three of these together. It's going to go a lot further than that one bale of Pro Mix will. So for me, it's worth it to do this financially. Plus, emotionally, it's good for me. Physically, it's good for me. And it's good to have been able to grow your own vegetables from the dirt that you've tended and you've mixed yourselves and that you've handled. So to me, that means a lot more to me than just, going at it the simple, quick, easy, more expensive way. So there's my first tray that I did. So not bad at all. I appreciate you joining us here today at Melanchthon Creek Farm as we are starting our getting our seed starter media mixed and using our seed blocker for the first time. We're going to be planting some of the flowers in these seed starters, and then we're going to take them inside. We're going to put them in the rack and put the heat lights on them, or the grow lights, and we'll take you along in the journey. So tune in again next time as we continue our prep for our spring garden. Y'all take care.